The football games that we know today are all about realism, perfectly cut grass, and detailed stadiums. However, there was a football game that was a bit dirtier, had NFL licensing, and where style mattered just as much as actually scoring. That game was NFL Street. Do you remember it? NFL Street was released in 2004 by EA Sports Big, which was the same crew behind NBA Street and SSX. It brought backyard football to life with 7-on-7 matchups, no pads, walls you could run on, and game breakers that essentially turned players into superhumans. It was gritty, fast, and unapologetically cool, which was a direct contrast to EA's other big football franchise, Madden. For a few glorious years, it was the game for anyone who liked their football with a little attitude. However, what really made NFL Street so special was its vibe and culture. NFL Street was raw, rebellious, and totally unlike anything in the football gaming scene that we have today. Playing it felt exactly like what you imagined you looked like, tossing the ball around in the backyard with your friends. Only if you and all of your friends played in the NFL. The soundtrack had a heavy dose of hip-hop and rock from artists like Exhibit, Nas, and even Korn, which lended itself well to the style of the game. It really encouraged an atmosphere of winning and rubbing your opponent's nose in it, which led to some pretty epic couch showdowns with friends. Each version of NFL Street ramped up the flair. NFL Street 2 introduced the wall moves and style catches, while NFL Street 3 gave players more seamless game breaker moves. NFL Street, released in January of 2004, was the first introduction to the concept. Because of this, it was pretty basic to start. You really only had 3 modes, which were your normal quick game that allowed you to just jump into a match, pickup games, and the main career mode called NFL Challenge. In this, you could build your own team and take on a variety of different challenges. Taking on these challenges would earn you a variety of rewards, such as development points to level up players, new cosmetics, and some even rewarded the ability to choose players from the NFL team rosters to add to your squad. NFL Street 2, which was surprisingly released in December of the same year as its predecessor, marked a bunch of new improvements. The most interesting mode by far was an RPG-light story mode called Own the City, where you would create a character, then assemble a team by beating other teams from around the city. Eventually, this would lead to some NFL teams, and even Legends teams where you could take on players like Jerry Rice and Barry Sanders. While NFL Street 3 was not as well praised as NFL Street 2, it still expanded what the franchise was. It added a mode called Respect the Street, where players would once again create a team and compete around US cities to earn respect. Progressing in this mode would allow players to earn new arenas, gear, and players. However, this mode was more challenge driven instead of the more story driven version of Own the City from NFL Street 2. Despite its loyal fan base, the NFL Street franchise came to an end after NFL Street 3 in 2006. Behind the scenes, EA was shifting gears, and around this time, the company started pulling back from many of its arcade-type titles. EA Sports Big, the sub-label responsible for NFL Street, NBA Street, and SSX, was shut down, while EA decided to focus more on realism, simulation, and annualized franchises like Madden NFL. At the same time, there were also some business factors at play here that ultimately shaped the franchise's downfall. EA had secured an exclusive license with the NFL in 2004, which effectively eliminated competitors such as NFL 2K from using real teams or players. That deal was used to solidify Madden as the definitive NFL experience. Unfortunately, this meant that there was no need for EA to invest in more experimental titles such as NFL Street. At the same time, arcade sports games were falling out of fashion. More over-the-top titles became outdated in the eyes of many publishers, and instead decided to continue with more realistic titles. Still, it left a lasting impact. NFL Street proved that sports games didn't have to be realistic simulations to be great. They only had to be fun. However, there is some hope that we may see a comeback because gaming trends are always changing. And while Madden might still rule the field today, there's a whole generation of players who still remember the days of balling out with the gritty arcade sensation that was NFL Street. Thank you for watching Game Rant. Don't forget to game on, and we'll see you next time.